ElvisCupGuy here. Hey, I just got back from a Donald Trump rally at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina, on Tuesday, June 10th, okay? And it was kind of in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, okay? Pete Hegseth was there, Trump was there, Trump was on the viewing stand to watch a lot of the maneuvers, some paratroopers parachuting, some artillery, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to show you the raw footage, and each little clip isn't very long, but I'm going to show you some raw footage that I took while I was there. And at the very end of the video, I've got some exclusive footage you won't see anywhere else of President Donald Trump actually watching some of the maneuvers, some of the paratroopers, some of the jets going over, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's at the very end of the video. But anyway, hang tight. You're going to see Donald Trump raw footage, and special bonus at the very end, you're going to see some exclusive backstage footage of Donald Trump and him doing the famous Donald Trump dance to YMCA. So anyway, hang tight, and it's coming up now. All right, before I show you guys some of the raw video I took, I'm going to show you some photos I took right when I got there. I got there early in the morning, like 7 a.m. There it is, Fort Bragg, home of the airborne. And you can see where they had set up. They have some of the barriers, the fencing set up to kind of control the crowd when they go in. They had some tents there. And like I said, I was one of the first people there. So look, there's nobody there. There's some troops way in the background, but civilians, I was one of the first ones. And somebody brought out their dog, and he was decked out in Fort Bragg gear. That was really cool. Now, at the very end of the video, I'm going to show you Donald Trump observing some of these military maneuvers. And now, coming up, Donald Trump raw footage, Fort Bragg.
Well, good afternoon, Fort Bragg. It is Fort Bragg, isn't it? Let me tell you, what a privilege it was to be just a few miles away from here, watching a sheer demonstration.
Hey, I don't mean to cut off Pete Hegseth, but let's get to it. Here comes President Donald J. Trump.
Who gave that right to me, and I'm glad American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Can you believe they changed that name in the last administration a little bit? But we'll forget all about that, won't we? We're going to forget all about it. I want to just say God bless the U.S. Army and God bless the USA. I want to thank so many incredible soldiers and paratroopers, pilots, warriors for that awesome display of pure, unrivaled American military might. I just saw something that was crazy. Now, you don't want to mess. I've been saying a long time, we have the best. Nobody even comes close, but they just gave me a display that you might be lucky not to see it, because it's a little scary. It was beautiful to watch. Let's hear it for the Army Special Operations and Command and the 82nd Airborne Division and the 18th Airborne Corps. What a show it was, and what a show it continues to be. And Saturday is going to be a big day in Washington. Free because you are strong. You are so strong. We're safe because you are brave, and America's flag will never fall because America's Army will never, ever fail. Never going to fail. Every branch of the armed forces has played a critical role in protecting our nation. But no one has done more fighting, bleeding, and winning than the U.S. Army. Nobody's done that. The Army has earned more combat medals and more battle ribbons than any other service, and 70% of all of the medals of honor. We give away medals of honor all the time at the White House to incredibly brave people. But you have 70% of them, Army soldiers, and especially our Army paratroopers, truly go all the way. You know that expression, all the way. It's one of your beautiful expressions. As President of the United States, let me express my undying gratitude to our nation for every soldier here today, for every veteran and their families, those incredible families that are with us and all across America, and for every patriot who has worn the uniform over 250 years. Can you imagine that? We thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts. Few places loom larger in Army lore than where we are gathered today. The one and only Fort Bragg. The one and only Fort Bragg. But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called Fort Bragg. It was by the Biden administration, not Trump. I had nothing to do with it. We never had a crowd this big. That's an honor. You think this crowd would have showed up for Biden? I don't think so.
No!
I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I want to thank so many great leaders here today, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who's been great. By the way, Pete, thank you. And he went through the wars, you know? Pete went through the wars. He had to get through a very hostile group of people that I think really don't want to see America be great again, maybe, or something, but he persevered and he got there and he's doing a fantastic job. Great job, Pete. Thank you very much. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins, a fantastic man. Thank you. Doing a great job. Way up from the last administration. Veterans. Thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob. And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Los Angeles. It'd be burning today, just like the houses were burning a number of months ago. Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never gonna happen. What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen. Remember, millions of people were allowed to come into our country totally unchecked and unvetted by stupid people or radical left people or sick people. But regardless, open border policy, the dumbest policy, yet I would say even dumber than men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone. Even dumber than that. They're hurling bricks and cinder blocks at law enforcement. Did you see they're breaking up the sidewalks and the curbs, breaking it up with big, strong hammers? These guys are professionals. These are not amateurs. They're breaking it up because they took the bricks away from them. They came in with bricks, red bricks, that they could throw at our military and at the police in LA, who are very good, but they weren't aggressive like our soldiers. Our soldiers really were aggressive, but they all worked together. But they came in with bricks, they were taken away, and they had hammers. Oh wow, how did that happen? And they're pounding the sidewalk. I said, what the hell is he doing? And he's breaking it up and making it into concrete bombs in a way, and they're dropping them on our military. They're throwing them at our military. Pretty good arms they had too. Hits guys right in the face. Big chunk of concrete, worse than a brick. They're taking them up to the bridges and they're dropping them in the cars that are going by. These are animals. But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year.
Lock them up! Lock them up!
And we'll see if we can get that done. We're going to try and get that done. We're working with some of your senators. I know Senator Josh Hawley is very much involved. And I know the two senators from here. I think you guys, are you guys in favor of it?
Yeah!
Or would this be a bad time for them to say no? I got you. I got those 2 votes. The agitators are throwing firebombs, Molotov cocktails, lighting vehicles ablaze. You saw all the cars that were burning, mobbing police officers and ICE officers who are the toughest people you'll ever meet, and they love our country, and they're getting really they want to stomp on them, but they're too tough. They don't allow it. And attempting to infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice who it is. They're already on it. Who's financing all this equipment?
Soros.
Very professional. Under the Trump administration, this anarchization of the city by criminal invaders. That's what it is. Invaders, no different. Their position is that the rioting will not stop unless ICE withdraws from Los Angeles and ceases the enforcement of federal immigration law. In other words, they came in here illegally. Many of them came out of prisons and jails, the most heinous people. They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo in Africa. They came from Asia. They came from the prisons of these places. They were put into the United States and allowed to stay here because we had a grossly unfit president who listened to whoever was operating the auto pen. And they allowed these people to stay. And by the way, I've known this guy for a long time. He was never the sharpest bulb. You know what he was? He wasn't a radical left lunatic. He never dreamt about open borders. He never said that when he was of sound mind, which actually was a very long time ago. Let it go back into our country. Let's give it to Gavin Newsom so he can waste it in Los Angeles. No, we don't want to do that. But we're giving you across the board raise for every single service member in the U.S. Armed Forces. We're giving you across the board, and you deserve it. You know, we spend so much money on things that we shouldn't be spending it on. But I think those days are stopping, Mr. Senators and Congressmen that are with us. As part of our one big beautiful bill, we are also investing over $1 billion to update your on-base housing. And we're building a state-of-the-art missile defense shield to protect our homeland. And it's called the Golden Dome. It's going to be all made in America. We've done it for others. We're now doing it, about time, right? We're doing it for ourselves. After years of recruiting shortfalls, this is, to me, maybe the most exciting things. We're setting the strongest peacetime recruiting records ever. Just think of this. 6 months ago, we couldn't recruit anybody to join the military. Nobody wanted to join. That was 6 months ago. And then we had the election of November 5th. And now we have the strongest recruiting numbers in the history of our country. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that?
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that raw footage that I took of the Donald Trump rally there in Fort Bragg on Tuesday, June 10th. Now, coming up, some behind the scenes footage of Donald Trump observing some of the maneuvers there at Fort Bragg, and it's coming up now.
Target ID, Delta Tango 4547, fire. Airfield is fuelable. You take off. Witnessed an amazing spectacle, a flex on our military. What impressed you the most?
I think the total love for the military. I mean, I was with the generals. They're explaining the different maneuvers, and the love they have for the Army and the military is beautiful. They're really great people, and I've never seen anything quite like that. I don't think any other president has either. You know, they really put on a good show. I asked them, did you do that for Biden? They said no, they didn't do it for Biden. I wonder why.